Oh man. All right, guys. Let me get this camera back. Good evening. It's KB5MIQ Big Boy. This is going to be a little bit different video for me to do tonight because I am now on Meshtastic. All right. Don't read a lot into that. Remember, I'm the computer caveman. I'm the guy who thought Raspberry Pi was dessert when I was asked about it. But I want to give a big shout out to K1ENT Kent and Broken Circuit Ranch. Kent's one of my sponsors of the channel, and he has hooked me up with a node and a mobile node. My mobile is a Heltec V3, I think that's what it is. It's out in the truck. I had to turn it off because we had some Bluetooth problem. We got that fixed. I got my main node on the house. So that's the main one we're going to talk about. Y'all know Kent's all about DIY. And you look on his website, he has all these parts to build these nodes with. All right. So right now I've got an 8 dB gain, 900 megahertz antenna up. I've got a 900 megahertz hammer board, hammer radio board, 1 watt LoRa long range board. All the connectors are on the website, the GPS module, the end connectors, the Bluetooth, everything, all the connectors you'd need to build this on the website. Basically, you got to have a box to put it in. Kent uses layered outdoor enclosures, 7 by 6 by 2. That's what mine's made out of. I've got a picture. At the end of this video, there'll be a picture of the box open where you see the inner workings of it, and then you'll see an overall shot of how I've got it up in the air. And don't laugh at it, but it works. All right. All of this is on Broken Circuit Ranch website. The only thing that won't be on this website is coax. I'm feeding it with a piece of LMR 400. Again, Kent supplied me with that also. Ethernet power. We've got an Ethernet power supply with a Cat5 line running up to it, providing power to it. So it's all this stuff on his website's got the prices on it, not overly expensive, I don't think. Like I said, he's all about the DIY, and I've got to learn a little bit more about Meshtastic, but it's pretty interesting so far. There's a bunch of nodes going up in our area. The name of my node at the house is KB5MIQ BIGBOY2. So if you see that, try to send me a message. I'm trying to learn the ins and outs of it. LoRa, long range, over, I don't really understand how to explain that. It's in the experimental, non-licensed part of the lower part of the 900 megahertz band. And all you guys that know Meshtastic a lot better than me know all that. This is for people who know absolutely nothing about Meshtastic like I did and still do. And I'm still in the process of learning. One thing, I can see the allure of it with the prepper community, because as long as you stay in that 900 megahertz area where there's no license requirement, you can encrypt it. You can send encrypted text to one another, and that can be a good thing. From my military standpoint, being in the military, working comms in the military, if somebody knows how to encrypt it, then somebody knows how to decrypt it. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not that up on the type of encryption this is using, but I would bet that somebody will be able to decrypt it too. So you have to be careful, on what you send in that type of situation. Freedom Link bunch around here is really looking at getting into this. I know some of the local emergency services are looking at Meshtastic. Looks like it's going to be a growing thing in the amateur radio, emergency services, and the prepper community. And honestly, if you compare the prices of it to normal ham radio gear, you're not going to be out that much money on it. I don't see that you'd be out that much money getting a node set up. Yeah, use an app on your phone. That's what I've got it set up on, and pretty interesting. I'm still not going to be expert. I'm not going. I'm not going to be doing one of them videos where they got the computer in front of them and they're pushing their fingers and hooking on you all the ins and outs how to hook it up. I ain't that good at it yet, and I'm not going to try to convince any of y'all I am. But it is interesting, and amateur radio is about experimentation. It's always been about that. So this is another good aspect we have as ham radio operators, even though it's not a requirement to be a ham radio operator to use that 900 megahertz. But you can put it in an amateur band. You can run a Meshtastic node in an amateur band, you just won't be able to encrypt it. That's the only thing that you would have to remember. You can't encrypt it if it's in an amateur frequency. But as long as it's in that unlicensed area, 900 megahertz, you can encrypt it. I can see it being a good off-grid type communication system. I can see it being good if you got alternative power, like solar power, powering them in case something goes down. But we'll just have to see how it all pans out in the future. I know I think Meshtastic still has a lot of kinks that needs to be worked out in it as far as the message traffic goes and being able to reliably know your message got to where it goes versus not knowing for sure if it got there. I know the old packet, 2 meter packet, it actually verified back and forth. It seemed to work real good. I've sent some messages with this, and so far, Kent's the only person that's actually been able to respond to me on the mobile node. I just got this one up. Takes a little while for it to populate nodes. We're going to see how it does, and I think I want to enjoy fooling with it, learn a little more about it. May do a few more videos on it when I get a little more comfortable with it. What I did, I bought a tripod roof mount, and I added 3 sections of this RCA antenna mast to it. I don't put antennas physically on my house because of lightning. I had a lightning strike years ago that blew a hole into my house, and I just don't have any antennas physically actually attached to the house. I got this on a porch roof behind the house. Probably got the antenna close to 30 feet in the air. So I think it's going to be pretty good coverage on it. I know when I couldn't access the other node, I had it up. I was seeing nodes everywhere. Once it starts populating, I'll be able to see more of them as it goes on and send some practice messages out. So if you're in the Northeast Texas area and you see a node that says KB5MIQ BIGBOY2, send it a message. Maybe we'll get through and we can see it and go from there. But I want to give a big shout out to Broken Circuit Ranch. Also, Kent set up a class. It was going to be for 3 of us, but 2 of them had situations come up they couldn't attend it. I attended his class where he explained Meshtastic to somebody like me that didn't know anything about it. And we're going to try to edit that video out, and I may post that video at a later date because he covered some good information with a marker board, eraser board, explaining how Meshtastic worked and what consisted of the nodes and network and things like that. And it made me understand it a little better. Like I said, I am not good with this kind of stuff. I'm good with radios up to a point, but I do not understand some of this type of stuff. And big shout out to Kent for hooking me up with this. Also, he got good coffee. I highly recommend the Hopes and Dreams coffee. It's on his website. He's got a dark roast Colombian that's good. My favorite is a Hopes and Dreams. So he got some really good coffee on the website. So check it out. Broken Circuit Ranch YouTube channel. Uh, K1ENT's his call on QRZ. You can look up his email there and check his business out on his website. And I hope you find something you can use. Kent, thanks again, buddy. Also, remember Circle 6 mail drop. KB5MIQ Fern has got a real mail address for RVers and people living a nomadic lifestyle that need a mail drop sent to them. So be sure and check that out. Dan Majors, MRG Labs, another sponsor of the channel. His info for his radio and amp repair is always at the first of the video. Remember, Main Trading Company in Paris, Texas. Richard's got all kinds of used gear hitting the site and got sales going on. So be sure to check that out. I will do another video Wednesday, a shack visit video. I'm not sure if it'll be my shack or another shack. I'm kind of getting toward the end of this. Had a couple of people that's not been able to do the shack visits yet, so may end up being my shack, and if I have a couple of bonus ones down the road, we'll get them posted. We're at 1977 on subscribers. As soon as we roll over to 2000, KD5 KWT Carl sponsored this 2000 sub giveaway with that little QRP HF rig. Got several accessories with it. Dadgum, I can't remember his call. Derek over in Shreveport also gave me a small J-pole, fold-up J-pole for 2 meters. We're going to give that away too. I'll get all that lined out before we hit 2,000. Guys, I appreciate everybody subscribed to the channel. The pictures of my setup with Meshtastic will be following this video right before you get into the Hamfest info. Hope everybody has a great Labor Day weekend. This is KB5MIQ Big Boy 73.